Have you ever sat in your front yard and felt the breeze carrying the scent of green leaves after a long sunny day? In the heart of the tropics, a garden isn't just decoration, it's sanctuary. Welcome back to Crafted Nest, where small ideas bloom into real-life beauty. In today's video, we'll explore 18 tropical garden designs that thrive under heat, spaces that don't just please the eyes, but also soothe the soul. From rocky succulent oases to fragrant herbal corners and rustic bamboo retreats, every idea we'll share is simple, doable, and deeply refreshing. Because at Crafted Nest, we believe a beautiful garden isn't built with luxury, it's grown from harmony with nature. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an idea that could transform your space into something peaceful and alive. Now, take a deep breath, listen to the quiet hum of sunlight, and let's begin this journey, where every leaf tells a story and every corner can become a small paradise. When you walk into a tropical home filled with the scent of lavender and lemongrass, the air itself seems to breathe a little easier. This garden is not made for perfection, but for peace. Imagine early morning sunlight touching the edges of each leaf, awakening soft fragrances that mingle with the breeze. It's here, among these fragrant greens, that the day begins gently. Aromatic tropical plants like jasmine, pandan, or basil are more than just pretty faces. They cleanse the air, invite butterflies, and whisper a kind of calm that no candle could imitate. The secret lies in their resilience. These plants love the warmth, even when the sun blazes at its fiercest. All they ask for is a little water, a little love, and a place where they can feel the wind. Creating your own fragrant garden doesn't require a large space. A few pots on your veranda are enough. Mix textures, broad leaves of pandan, thin stalks of lemongrass, and tiny blossoms of lavender. Let them dance together. Add a simple bamboo screen or wooden crate to hold the pots. You'll see how rustic beauty can blend with tropical heat. And when dusk falls, the same plants that welcomed the morning will perfume your evening air. You'll find yourself stepping outside, barefoot, just to breathe and smile, realizing that sometimes serenity can grow quietly in clay pots, right beside your own door. There is a quiet kind of strength in a rock garden. It doesn't beg for rain or shade. It thrives where others wither. Under the unrelenting tropical sun, these succulents stand still, sculptural and proud, their leaves storing life like silent reservoirs of patience. Creating your own rock and succulent oasis begins with simplicity. Start with stones, rough, round, or flat. Let them form the bones of your garden. Between them, nestle resilient plants, aloe that glows in the sunlight, agave that spreads like a star, and small cacti that bloom when you least expect. Each texture tells a story about endurance and quiet grace. What makes this design magical is the harmony between stillness and vitality. The dry stones reflect heat, while the plants sip the smallest drops of water and turn them into life. You don't have to water them often. In fact, they prefer your restraint. All they need is sunlight, well-drained soil, and your gentle eye for placement. When the afternoon light hits the rocks, they shine golden. The succulents, catching the same rays, glow with a soft green blush. It's a landscape that invites calm, a reminder that beauty can grow in scarcity. Stand there for a while. Let the warmth touch your skin. You'll realize that in the language of the tropics, serenity doesn't always mean lushness. Sometimes it's written in stone, shaped by the patience of succulents, and framed by the golden rhythm of the sun. Some mornings feel like celebrations, where every corner of the garden bursts into color, and even the air hums softly with life. This is the world of vibrant tropic blossoms, a realm where sunlight paints in hues words can barely describe. Bougainvillea climbs with fearless joy, draping walls in magenta silk. Hibiscus opens wide, daring the day to shine brighter than its petals. Each bloom is a heartbeat, pulsing with the rhythm of tropical warmth. The garden becomes a living canvas, where every color tells a story about courage, hope, and the beauty of thriving under heat. To create your own oasis of blossoms, choose flowers that dance with the sun rather than hide from it. Bougainvillea, zinnias, or periwinkle, they love the heat, they crave the light. Mix tall and trailing species so that your garden feels layered, dynamic, and alive. Let vivid reds meet calm purples. Let oranges melt into pinks. The secret lies not in perfection, but in passion, the way colors breathe together when you stop trying to control them. As the afternoon fades, those same flowers shimmer with a softer glow. The scent mingles with warm air. Even tired days feel lighter. You'll find yourself smiling, realizing that color has its own quiet wisdom. It doesn't wait for the right season. It simply blooms, again and again, under any sun willing to see it. The palm tree doesn't rush. It stands tall, confident, and graceful, a quiet reminder that strength can be elegant. When you plant palms in your yard, you don't just add greenery, you add rhythm. The leaves sway like dancers in slow motion, whispering stories of the sea and the wind. In the world of tropical design, elegant palm haven is the essence of balance, the meeting point of structure and serenity. Palms bring vertical drama, creating a natural canopy that softens sunlight and frames open skies. Choose your variety with care. The fan-shaped beauty of Palem kippas, the slim silhouette of Palem botal, or the grand height of Palem raja. Each carries its own presence, a signature of tropical pride. You don't need a grand villa to enjoy their magic. Even 2 or 3 palms along your pathway can turn a plain yard into a quiet resort. Under their shade, place a wooden bench, a ceramic pot, or a stone lantern. Simple accents that invite peace. As the day fades, the setting sun threads golden lines through the fronds. You sit beneath them, hearing the rustle of leaves blending with the evening air. It feels as if time slows down. Your garden no longer just a place, but a feeling, calm, dignified, and eternal. And maybe that's what the palm truly teaches, to stand tall, stay rooted, and sway only when the wind is kind. Simplicity has its own language, and in the tropical world, it speaks through pots. Minimalist Pot Paradise celebrates restraint, the beauty of giving each plant its own quiet stage. You don't need sprawling land. Even a narrow veranda or window corner can bloom with serenity if arranged with intention. Picture a row of terracotta pots catching the first rays of sunlight. Their matte surfaces warm gently as the air fills with a scent of soil. Inside them, green leaves rise like soft sculptures, each shape deliberate, each shade of green a breath. This is a garden for those who love stillness more than spectacle. The secret lies in contrast, smooth pots against textured leaves, bright light meeting cool shade. Choose plants that thrive in heat but carry calm, sansevieria, monstera, or ferns that arch gracefully. Let them grow within boundaries, yet express wildness through form. Group by height, not color, so the eye moves naturally like reading a poem. When afternoon light shifts, the pots cast gentle shadows that trace across the floor like flowing water. You might find yourself pausing, your mind uncluttered, your heartbeat slower. That's the quiet charm of this design. It doesn't ask to be admired. It invites you to breathe. Every pot holds a promise that even in the smallest space, life can expand beautifully if given light, patience, and the art of enough. There's something deeply poetic about a plant that chooses to climb. It doesn't just grow, it reaches. Wall climbing serenity is a design born from patience, where vines turn hard walls into living tapestries. Over time, the house seems to breathe, as if nature has wrapped it in a soft green sigh. Imagine waking up to the sight of morning light sliding down leaves of serrigating, every surface shimmering with dew. The walls, once plain, now pulse with life, offering cool shade and the whisper of movement. With each passing week, tendrils stretch higher, weaving art that no hand could replicate. You don't need fancy trellises. Let the plants find their path. A wooden lattice, a bamboo stick, or even a simple wire will do. Water sparingly, trim gently, and watch them reward you with peace. In tropical heat, these vines become your natural insulation, softening sunlight and filtering dust. When the afternoon arrives, you'll notice how their shadows dance across the wall, tracing silent rhythms that change with the day. The house feels alive, humble yet enchanted. And perhaps that's the hidden magic of vines. They remind us that beauty doesn't always stand apart. Sometimes it leans, clings, and grows where there was once only stone. Serenity, after all, isn't built. It slowly climbs. Not every garden needs flowers to bloom. Sometimes, the leaves themselves hold enough beauty to tell a story. Unique foliage harmony celebrates the quiet brilliance of patterns, veins, and colors that nature paints onto every leaf. Here, even the smallest breeze can make art shimmer. Caladium blushes with red veins, zebra plants wear stripes of light and shadow, and coleus dazzles in fiery gradients. Together, they create a living mosaic, vibrant yet soothing. These plants don't compete, they converse. Each shade of green listens to the next, forming harmony born of difference. To bring this wonder into your own home, think of texture first. Combine leaves that contrast, broad against slender, matte beside glossy. Place them where sunlight passes gently. Morning light works like a brush that deepens every hue. The more natural your setting, the more magical it feels. This design invites you to slow down and notice. Look closer. A single leaf can reveal 1,000 stories. Its scars, its symmetry, its survival. You'll start to see that art doesn't always hang on walls. Sometimes, it grows quietly in pots by your window. When afternoon arrives, sunlight slides across the leaves like a golden ribbon. The patterns come alive for just a few minutes, enough to remind you that beauty doesn't shout. It simply grows layer by layer until harmony feels like home. There's a kind of green that loves the sun. Plants that don't shy away from heat, but dance in it. Sun-loving green corners is a tribute to resilience, a design born from brightness and courage. These are the plants that turn intense light into beauty, that shimmer instead of wilt, and stand tall even in the driest afternoons. Picture a quiet corner of your yard where the sun never rests. Instead of avoiding it, fill it with warriors of warmth. Yucca, agave, sansevieria, or pandanus. Their thick leaves store strength. Their roots drink just enough to survive. You'll be surprised how alive the space becomes when the sunlight finds its partners. You don't need shade or fancy irrigation. A handful of sandy soil, good drainage, and a bit of space to breathe are enough. Let them face the east if you can, to greet the first light with open leaves. Over time, they'll shape a rhythm with the day, their color deepening as the light changes. When evening comes, the sun paints its farewell across the leaves, gold, bronze, sometimes crimson. The plants don't fade, they glow. You'll stand there watching, maybe with a glass of water in hand, realizing that life isn't always about shelter. Sometimes, it's about learning to love the light that others hide from. There's a kind of calm that only symmetry can bring, the quiet dignity of trees standing still, framing a doorway or path. Many tropical conifers embody that feeling. Though small in size, they carry an air of grace, blending the spirit of mountain forests with the warmth of tropical light. Semera Norfolk, the most beloved of all, grows like a silent poem. Each needle-thin leaf points skyward, whispering of clean air and highlands, yet it thrives comfortably in the tropics. You can plant them in stone planters or along the driveway, where they catch the sun and cast elegant shadows on your walls. Their beauty lies in their patience. Conifers grow slowly, shaping themselves with time. You don't prune them often. They prefer to find their own rhythm. A bit of water, a touch of compost, and bright sunlight are all they need. The rest they do on their own. As afternoon light filters through their branches, you'll see the garden transform into a serene refuge. Their soft rustle harmonizes with the wind, their form grounding the chaos of the day. In that stillness, you might notice your own breath slowing, matching the calm these little trees radiate. Sometimes, luxury doesn't come from grandeur, but from grace. And in the still presence of these small tropical conifers, your home finds exactly that, a quiet touch of modern nature, elegant without effort. At first glance, deserts and tropics seem worlds apart, one ruled by dryness, the other by abundance. Yet when their spirits meet, they create balance. Desert-tropic mix is about embracing contrast, heat against shade, thorns beside softness, silence blooming within light. Picture an open yard where the soil glows pale under the sun. Cacti stand like small sculptures, agave fans out like green stars, and palms sway slowly in the breeze. Between them, smooth stones reflect the sky's brightness. There's no crowd of leaves here, no chasing after lushness, just quiet rhythm, sculpted by the sun itself. To build this harmony, think of space as breath. Leave gaps between your plants. Let emptiness play its role. Use sand, gravel, or crushed stone to hold heat and shape texture. Water sparingly, once or twice a week, and trust nature to do the rest. These are plants born for resilience. They don't demand, they endure. When dusk arrives, shadows stretch long across the gravel. The same heat that felt harsh now glows softly, painting your garden gold. You'll see how the desert's strength and the tropics' warmth merge, a reminder that opposites can coexist beautifully. In this oasis, less becomes more. Every plant stands alone yet belongs completely, just like us, finding beauty not in comfort, but in courage to face the light. In every leaf, there is both beauty and purpose. Functional Beauty Garden is where the two meet, a living reminder that the things we nurture can, in turn, nurture us. These are not just plants for the eyes. They are companions for our days, healing both air and spirit. Imagine walking barefoot through a small garden that smells of lemongrass and basil. The sun is still soft, and you reach out to pinch a leaf. The scent instantly awakens something deep and familiar. In the corner, turmeric leaves shimmer beside tiny blooms and pandan waves gently in the wind. Every corner breathes usefulness. Every pot holds quiet wisdom. Creating such a garden is simple. Start with herbs you love to cook with or use in daily rituals. They ask for little, some sunlight, modest watering, and space to grow. Mix them with ornamental plants to create a blend of form and function. Beauty grows richer when it serves a purpose. When afternoon arrives, take a few sprigs of mint or rosemary, steep them in warm water, and watch the colors swirl. That is the cycle of gratitude, the garden giving back what your hands have tended. And in that moment, as you breathe the aroma of your own making, you realize something profound. Nature never separates usefulness from beauty. It teaches us to live the same way, purposefully, gently, and with grace. There's a whisper of water, a shimmer of light, and the gentle sway of green. This is Floating Planter Walkway, where movement and stillness find balance. Each step you take feels like a dance between earth and reflection. It's not just a path, but an experience, a conversation between your feet, the air, and the calmness that lives in water. Imagine a narrow pond stretching along your walkway, sunlight breaking into tiny diamonds on its surface. Floating pots cradle ferns, lilies, or even taro leaves that tilt toward the sky. The water mirrors their shapes, doubling their beauty in silence. As the wind passes, ripples spread. The garden comes alive in a language beyond words. Building one is simpler than it seems. Shallow ponds or troughs, lightweight pots, and plants that love both sun and moisture. Let the pots drift gently or anchor them with stones for subtle motion. Add a few koi or guppy fish, and suddenly, your path becomes a living painting. As dusk falls, reflections soften into gold. The floating leaves tremble in the fading light, and the scent of wet soil rises. You pause there, barefoot, quiet, listening. The water doesn't just hold your plants, it holds your peace. Some gardens grow upward, others flow. And in this one, between every ripple and reflection, serenity floats. Peace has a shape. Sometimes it's round like a stone, sometimes it flows like a leaf. Zen Tropic Retreat is a sanctuary where Japanese simplicity meets tropical warmth. It's not a space built for show, but for slowing down, a breathing corner of balance. Imagine stepping outside to the sound of water trickling from a bamboo spout. The gravel below your feet crunches softly, each step grounding your thoughts. Ferns bow gently in the wind. Moss creeps across stone edges, patient and green. Even the sunlight seems slower here, filtering through leaves as if careful not to disturb the calm. To create this refuge, you don't need much, just intention. Use simple materials: bamboo, rock, sand, and plants that thrive quietly. Let the layout breathe. Leave open spaces where the mind can rest. A single bench of wood, a small pond, or even a lantern can transform emptiness into meaning. When the afternoon light shifts, shadows ripple across the water, and you feel time stretch. You breathe deeper, the kind of breath that reaches the soul. In that stillness, you understand what this garden truly is, not decoration but dialogue. A Zen Tropic Retreat doesn't just exist outside your home, it grows within you. Each leaf, each drop of water, each grain of sand whispers the same lesson, that peace isn't found, it's tended. Some gardens sing quietly, others burst into song. Color Flow Tropical Strip is the garden's melody, a living rhythm of hues that guides the eyes and lifts the heart. It turns the simplest yard into a celebration of color, where every bloom plays its part in a joyful procession. Imagine the morning sun spilling over your front walkway, revealing a trail of reds, yellows, and purples glowing like stained glass. The flowers don't compete, they harmonize. Each tone blends into the next, creating a soft transition that feels alive, like watercolor under the sky. To create your own, start with shape before shade. Lay your plants in lines or waves, and let colors flow naturally, bright at the edges, calm in the center. Choose heat-loving varieties: bougainvillea for drama, marigolds for warmth, coleus for texture. They'll thrive where the sun lingers longest, their colors deepening with every day of light. As you water them in the evening, the wet earth darkens, and the petals catch the last glow of sunset. For a moment, it feels like the world is holding its breath, letting the day fade gently into color. That's the magic of this design. It isn't just beauty for the eyes, but music for the soul. Every hue hums its own note of joy, reminding you that even the hottest sunlight can become art when it touches something willing to bloom. There's something profoundly calming about green, one color, yet infinite in shade. Monochrome Green Harmony is a design that doesn't shout for attention, it whispers peace. It's the garden you walk through when your mind feels loud, and somehow, every leaf teaches you to breathe again. Picture a small courtyard, quiet under the tropical sun. Everywhere you look, only green. Deep greens of ferns, bright greens of young shoots, soft moss underfoot, and glossy palms swaying gently. Each plant reflects the light differently, turning sunlight into a slow dance of calm. There are no flowers here, yet nothing feels missing. Creating this harmony is an art of restraint. Choose plants not for contrast, but for texture. Broad leaves beside slender ones, matte beside shiny. Use stone and wood sparingly to frame the greenery. Let the space feel open, allowing air and silence to move freely between the leaves. As the afternoon light shifts, the greens deepen, glowing softly against shadow. You sit with a cup of tea, watching the gentle shimmer as if the garden itself is breathing. In that stillness, you realize the beauty of simplicity, that peace doesn't need many colors, only presence. This garden isn't meant to impress, it's meant to embrace. Every hue of green reminds you of balance, the kind found not in noise or novelty, but in quiet continuity. The kind that makes home feel like nature's own heart. Not every corner needs to be modern. Some are meant to hold stories. Rustic Tropic Corner is a celebration of simplicity, a place where time slows, where sunlight touches old wood, and where green finds comfort in the company of tradition. Picture a small corner of your home wrapped in bamboo and earth. Clay pots stand like old friends, their surfaces marked by years of sun and rain. Ferns spill softly over the edges. A pandan plant sways lazily in the wind. There's a wooden bench that creaks when you sit, not broken, just honest. This design isn't about perfection, it's about warmth. Use natural materials, bamboo, terracotta, coconut husks. Let the space breathe with textures that tell their age. Add a woven chair or a simple batik cloth, something that reminds you of quiet mornings in your grandmother's yard. When the late afternoon light arrives, everything glows, not with shine, but with memory. You might hear birds settling in, the soft crackle of leaves in the wind, and maybe even a neighbor's laughter drifting through. That's the beauty of the Rustic Tropic Corner. It doesn't try to impress, it welcomes. It reminds you that modern comfort and old charm can live side by side, that peace doesn't always come from what's new, but from what's real, humble, and rooted in home. There's a kind of peace that only green can give, the peace that breathes cool and constant, no matter how hot the day. Ever Fresh Leaf Sanctuary is a design that brings that feeling home, where every leaf becomes a small source of calm. Imagine walking into a garden just after sunrise. The air is still damp, the ground faintly smells of earth, and the leaves shimmer like they've just been born. Monstera's broad, heart-shaped blades, philodendron's trailing vines, and ferns lace like fronds. Each one adds its own rhythm to this living composition. This garden doesn't need color to impress. It thrives on freshness, on the endless renewal that green promises. Choose plants with thick or waxy leaves. They hold moisture and reflect light beautifully. Give them filtered sunlight, enough space to stretch, and a touch of morning mist. That's all they ask, and in return, they'll stay evergreen every day. As afternoon arrives, the garden hums softly with life. The leaves move gently, brushing against each other like whispers. It's not loud beauty, it's enduring beauty, one that lives quietly and continuously. Stand there, breathe in. You'll feel it, the kind of serenity that doesn't come from stillness alone, but from the pulse of something always alive. In this ever-fresh leaf sanctuary, time seems to pause, letting nature's rhythm take over, soft, green, and eternal. Some gardens are wild, others are calm, but Tropical Balance Garden is both. It's the meeting point of sunlight and shadow, height and color, fragrance and silence. A place where palms rise gracefully, flowers bloom boldly, and herbs breathe quietly beneath them. Imagine stepping into a garden that feels complete. The tall palms cast soft shade over marigolds and hibiscus, while basil and lemongrass hum gently at their feet. Every layer serves a purpose. Palms for height and elegance, flowers for brightness, herbs for scent and soul. Together, they create a living balance that feels natural, not planned. Building this kind of harmony starts with observation. Notice how sunlight travels across your space. Place palms where light lingers the longest. Let the flowers dance in the middle, and let your herbs rest at the edges, catching filtered glow. Use textures to connect them. Smooth leaves beside petals, thin blades beside broad greens. When the afternoon wind comes, The whole garden seems to breathe together. The palms sway, the herbs release fragrance, the colors shift gently under the golden light. You stand still, feeling both the strength and softness of nature. That's the secret of this design. It reminds you that life, like a garden, isn't about control, but connection. The tropical balance garden doesn't just grow, it teaches harmony between form and function, color and calm, you and the earth itself.